your eyes now, but I know there's always a way. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything much smoother again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. The connections might be tangled, the power source has lost its spark, but every wire tells a story, and I can mend what's torn apart. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. When the current isn't flowing, when the signals disappear, I'll be here with tools and patience, make the static crystal clear. Every cable, every circuit, every problem that you bring, I'll restore what time has broken, make the whole world sing. So don't you worry about tomorrow, don't you stress about today. I've got maintenance for your troubles, and I'll chase them all away. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. Hey, Daniel, everything's good as new. Hey, Daniel, I'll fix you up for you.
Well, welcome to the show. I am your host, Daniel, and today is Judge Jeffrey Middleton, another favorite judge in St. Joe County, Michigan. So let's get started with this. Make this bigger.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, the 29th of September, and it's another beautiful, sunny, warm day that feels like summertime here in Michigan. We had a beautiful, warm, summer-like weekend. Lions won. Sorry, Cleveland. And all is good. Judge Pattison is off this week, and so I'll be handling his matters, and so I've got misdemeanor arraignments today, but we only have one. We had a walk-in. He keeps sending us pictures just to make us feel bad, but we'll be a little bit double booked this week. I don't know if the magistrate is here today or not, so we may have a few things. We have one customer who's already resolved, and we have another walk-in who they're preparing their paperwork right now, so that may take a minute. Went to a very nice wedding over the weekend, and it was very nice, and it was all good. So our little bit of shared humanity this morning. Ms. Jackson's a big music lover, so she knows all these opening lines, but today's opening line isn't exactly the opening line, but maybe the second line for a little shared humanity. Maybe you'll listen to this later if you know it. If you don't.
These transforming glass
You were the sweetest thing that I ever knew, but I don't care for sugar, honey, if I can't have you. Let's see if you know that. So far, no Black Sabbath. Good morning, Australia and California. Thank you all for getting up early or late. Our first matter is Mr. Eric Demas, who is charged with no insurance. The file number in that matter is 251886SM. Mr. Demas has apparently provided proof that he now has insurance. The prosecutors agreed to reduce this to no proof of insurance.
Yes, Your Honor, that would be Gary Gabriel.
All right, very good. Mr. Demas, why don't you come up to the podium for a minute? Thanks. This is file 251886SM, People versus Eric Scott Demas II. Mr. Demas, you've apparently brought in proof that you have insurance. Prosecutors willing to dismiss the charge of no insurance to a civil infraction of no proof of insurance. That carries a fine of $150. It's not a criminal matter. It is a civil matter like a stop sign or speeding. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So do you acknowledge that on September 11th of 2025, you were driving a car without having proof of insurance in it?
Yes.
All right, the fine and cost is $150. Can you pay that today or do you need time to pay it?
I can pay that today.
All right. All right, I'm gonna have the bailiff take you out to the court office. You can pay that $150 fine. The matter is resolved.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you for being here on time too. All right, as I understand it, we have one more customer. I let that run because it was quite brief. I'll turn this off in a minute. Yes, more terrible things over the weekend, particularly here in Michigan. If you want to not turn the news on, each day is more shock to our system. So I spend a little minute trying to set all that aside. Reminding you of a song I like. All right, I guess I'll just wait here a moment. I'm not even sure what our new guy was charged with. I don't know anything about bench warrant arraignments or failure to appears or anything. Normally, the morning would be filled with civil pretrials, our Monday morning. The clerk set a couple, but she didn't set them until 10. She thought maybe we'd have more to do this morning. No pretrials and only one very simple arraignment, one walk-in. So we'll have a couple of civil pretrials, one at 10 and one at 10:15. And then we will begin with a number of kind of tough sentences at 10:30. So I think we have 5 sentences between 10:30 and noon. So, yes, I would also just touch on the fact that our courthouse was shut down on Friday because there wasn't much of a lockdown. It was such a lockdown that nobody even noticed it. We all just kept doing our job. But the person who had made the threats to the courthouse was arrested Friday morning and lodged. He's in our jail right now and charged with making terroristic threats. It's likely that we will all disqualify ourselves as the threats were at us, particularly me and the other people at the courthouse. So I think we'll be asking a special judge to handle it, and they may even get a special prosecutor. I don't know. When I was prosecutor, I did a prosecution of a case that a guy threatened to blow up Cass County courthouse. And the prosecutor is disqualified and the judge is disqualified. I was prosecutor at the time.
Let's be real. Getting over someone that you saw forever with.
And I prosecuted it. All right. So I guess I will just wait a minute. I wasn't sure what, as I said, the guy was. Here's our walk-in.
This is, yeah, Christine is not feeling well. She wants to move that if we can.
Yeah, that's fine. Which defendant is it? Oh. I don't have it with me. It's in the green
Okay.
folder on my desk. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fine.
Appreciate it.
Also, I met some nice people at the wedding. I told one of the guys I'd say hello to his dad, Mike, this morning. Good morning to Mike from Way Pigeon. Thank you for watching every day. Your son does a nice job at Useless Creatures. I'm just letting this go because I didn't want to shut it off and start all over again. As soon as we finish whatever our walk-in is, take a break. We'll go out until 10 o'clock. And then apparently one of our sentences is being adjourned because one of the attorneys doesn't feel well. So it is a slow start to a Monday morning. It was a good day for a bike ride. I could see my breath. But then we'll have a landlord-tenant docket, small claims this afternoon. They flashed the paperwork in front of me, and I saw the name for about a second, but I can't remember it, so I don't know who it is we're seeing. This has been an unusually long stretch of blue sky for Michigan. All of Fair Week, all of this week. It's supposed to be sunny and blue sky and 80 and very nice. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name?
James Cannon.
All right, Mr. Cannon, I'll have the paperwork in a minute. Yeah, we had our boats in. It felt like 4th of July. My granddaughters were swimming in the middle of the lake like it was warm out. It was quite refreshing. All right. I guess I'll stop this. Thank you all for saying good morning. I've let it run for quite a while. And we do have a customer. Hope you're well where we are. Boats are coming out this week. And we will then start to get ready for fall. Michigan and Michigan State both had buys this week. All right. I can't get in the file because the clerks are in it. So Mr. Cannon will do it in a minute. Two 51943 SM. At least all the electronics worked this morning. Every time I come in here, about 3 days out of 5, there's some sort of a technical glitch.
Why are you not getting
Mr. Cannon, would you come up to the podium, please? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This is file number 251943SM. Are you James Cannon?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cannon, they've alleged in this formal complaint, count 1, child abuse in the 4th degree, did cause physical harm to a child by slapping the child in the leg. Contrary to the statute, that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail, probation for up to 5 years. Count 2 is domestic assault upon a minor child, LH, a resident of your household. That is a misdemeanor also, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. With us here this morning is the Chief Public Defender, Jeanette Jackson. My recommendation, Mr. Cannon, is that we get you an attorney to assist you with this. Do you have any objection to that?
No, sir.
What do you do, sir? What's your occupation?
I'm currently unemployed. I'm in the process of getting employed with Fairview here in town.
What other kind of work have you done?
Landscaping and manufacturing.
Is there a no contact provision in here?
Yes, with Leah.
Where are you staying?
I'm currently staying in my mother's yard in a tent.
Well, it's about to get real cold. Well, I'm going to show a plea of not guilty. I'm going to appoint an attorney. I'm going to set an attorney pretrial. And unfortunately, this is going to be out of ways. The next first Friday of the month pretrial would be October 3rd, which is Friday. which is too soon for an attorney to get up to speed on this. So I'm going to set the attorney pretrial for November 7th. At 8:30. That's a long ways away when you're sleeping in a tent because you have a no contact order in your file. I'm going to send you out to the counter, and the clerks are going to give you information with your attorney's name and number on it. I want you to call the attorney and make an appointment to discuss this. The sooner the better.
Okay.
They can get the police report, any other reports, be in a position to discuss this with the prosecutor. If they wish to accelerate the case forward from November 7th, we can accommodate that. But bond here remains as set. No contact remains in effect. Let me go over your bond conditions. Posted a 4,000 10% bond. No firearms, no contact with that minor child. So either they can't be in the house or you can't, and so they're in the house and you're out. So that often is a factor to be considered. Also, it's for good reason. It's to protect the complaining witness, to keep the people apart. Make sure that there's not any interference with the legal process. But this has got some consequences, and I think you could use a lawyer. So I still have my paperwork, but I have enough for you to go out and get court-appointed counsel. What's your mailing address? Can we still use the mail address?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then you may provide additional contact info. All right, you go with the court officer. All right, Ms. Jackson, that's all we've got. There are no pretrial. I'm gonna make sure I didn't see any pretrials this morning. One arraignment, which was a civil infraction. Judge Pattison sure has it easy on Mondays. No, just my two civil pretrials. So let me stop the live feed. We'll be back at. All right, we are back. We're going to address several misdemeanor sentences. We had 5 set, and one looks like it's getting adjourned. And so we have 4. Jordan Harden is here with her client, and Angelique Camfield is here for the prosecutors. She stepped out for just a moment.
An IQ of and IQ.
All right, welcome everyone. It's time for our misdemeanor sentences. Our first matter is People versus Robert D. Burns. File number is 251318. This is a domestic violence case. I accepted the defendant's plea, set the matter for sentencing for this morning. Wanted to get more information and victim input. We did get a restitution request. Jordan Harden is here with the defendant, and Angelique Camfield is here on behalf of the prosecution. Ms. Harden, what would you like me to know here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burns did serve a good amount of time on this case at the upfront. Since release at the time of plea, he has gotten independent housing with his father, set out away from the complaining witness. They do not have a relationship, and he has no desire to continue such relationship. He is working. He works for Baja, which is a company that essentially sets up and tears down all the fair rides and things of that nature. So he's been busy lately with that. He does understand there's a restitution request and indicates today he's able to make a payment towards that, but would need a payment plan to finish paying that off. In my notes with Prosecutor Robert, because this plea was taken back on August 1st, we did set it out quite a ways. But Mr. Robert, at that time, my notes indicate had no objection to a time served just due to the amount of time he did up on the upfront. If the court did feel a probation was necessary due to the restitution component, I would ask for a non-reporting probation to ensure that that payment is made towards the restitution. Again, Mr. Burns has complied with all terms of bond. He has made no efforts to contact the complaining witness. He reports to me that she has tried to reach out over multiple social media accounts of his, but he has blocked her on those in an attempt to remain compliant with bond. He also, again, indicates no desire to continue a relationship with her. So I don't think we're going to see Mr. Burns again. He's done everything he's needed to do since he was released, and he's complied with all terms of bond. So I would ask the court to impose time served as well as fines and costs, and if probation is necessary due to the restitution component, that be done on a non-reporting basis. Thank you.
The defendant did spend 27 days in jail. I did a PR bond at the time of although at the time of the plea, he no longer had a right to have a bond, but normally, unless the defendant posts bond within 28 days in a misdemeanor case, they're allowed to have a PR bond. This restitution is actually for the apartment where the defendant was living, or the complainant was living. And there is a work order attached to it. Ms. Camfield, what would you like me to know?
Your Honor, my office will have to stand by the request for restitution and Mr. Robert's offer of credit for time served. I don't have
any additional input from the complaining witness.
I don't have a copy of the pre-sentence report, Your Honor.
There isn't one.
Okay.
I simply set it out. I want to get the police report. There's a video which shows him doing at least some of the conduct that resulted in his conviction. I didn't think we had any victim input, but I set it for this. The defendant is probably eligible for a deferral, but I don't think he's interested in it.
Well, we were interested, Your Honor. Mr. Robert said because he has a prior R&O on his record, he would not offer that.
All right. Yeah, I can't do a deferral without the prosecutor's consent.
He was very much interested, but Mr. Robert was not willing to agree to that. So,
all right. If I knew that, I forgot it. Let me put a note in here. Prosecution opposed deferral. All right. So do you travel with this job?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you're here now. You should be able to pay this.
I believe he did say he could make a payment today.
Yes, if needed to be, I'd be able to make a payment today.
All right. We're at 27 days credit, 27 days. There's a $75 fine, a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, a $100 and $50 attorney fee, restitution of $400. I believe that goes to Gateway Village.
Correct, Your Honor.
That adds up to $775, I think. No, 700. No, 350, 750. How much can you pay today?
Probably like $50.
All right,
But next paycheck, I'd be able to do about 400.
all right, today. I'll make this due by December 1.
Yes, sir.
This will show on your record as a domestic violence, prohibit you from using or possessing a firearm for at least 8 years. I don't know if you like to hunt, but you can't, in light of this conviction, unless you have your firearm privileges restored. So at this time of year, do all those sort of things head south?
You talking about my
Yeah,
job?
your work?
It's seasonal, so yeah, so I would have to apply for another job, but I know we have two more this month.
All right.
So I will be able to.
I'll ask the court officer to take you out. You can make that payment. Make sure we got your correct contact information.
Yes, sir.
27 days, credit 27 days,
Thank you.
no victim input. All right, you're good to go, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Can I bring your, you have a card? Still? Okay.
Jordan, do I have some more with you? I thought I had a couple others. You know, just this, no, we have Yoder, Darren Yoder, yes. Our 1045 is Rhonda Ives. She's very hard to schedule. And my belief was she was already here today for something. Jordan, if one of your clients is early, we can start early.
Okay, I'll check the hallway in a moment, but Mr. Burns was the only one here.
Well, it's very nice to have a prosecutor here at these sentences. We've gotten away from it when they were so poorly staffed, but and I'm always maybe a little too optimistic with Ms. Ives' stuff. Because I think we could do it and then she's got to be somewhere else. And do you have a Christopher Houghton out there? Just have a seat, sir. We can't, no, on the bench. We're just checking. You're here on a timely matter. We're waiting for your lawyer.
I've got one other one out there as well. Who's your attorney? Rhonda.
Rhonda Ives, yeah. Have we seen her yet?
I've not seen her yet. The other person is waiting for Tim George and I have not seen him yet.
That'd be Mr. Richards. And they aren't set. This one's set at 10:45, so the defendant's here in a timely manner.
Do not get a consolidation.
This is an odd case, Ms. Camfield. Defendant pled without counsel. Keith Stickley was here at the time. Mr. Stickley requested that counsel be appointed to assist him with the sentence, but the recommendation was 7411 probation. Mr. Houghton, have you met and talked with Rhonda Ives?
Just through emails.
Okay, well, at least you're in communication.
I'm currently in family treatment court now,
In what county?
Cass County. I started last week, Wednesday.
Okay. You actually live in Van Buren County, or is Decatur the address that you have in Cass County?
The address that you guys had, I believe, was my home address.
Uh-huh.
But as of Wednesday, I moved into a sober living home.
Oh,
Family treatment court.
and where's that?
That is 208 Center Street, Wajack, Michigan.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Morning,
Is your client ready?
He, I think, was just paying some fines.
Okay.
Judge, do you have the key for the door?
Return promptly, it says.
I'll be right back.
I don't know who wrote that on there, but it wasn't me. I don't get in this little box too much. It's got Bob Sabatini's probation officer card and Alice DeYoung, two of our former very good probation officers, both retired.
Thank you, sir.
historical artifacts. Tim, you don't miss it. The walnuts are falling all over the street and there's nobody there to pick them up. I'm gonna go out with my leaf blower and blow all the walnuts into his yard.
Howie doesn't do that?
No. Well, I think Howie is mowing it, but they just fall so prodigiously. That was Tim's job, is picking up bushels of walnuts. Now he's not there to do it. A squirrel got one of them and broke it open on my front steps, and it made a big black stain that I can't get off. Tried brake cleaner and some other stuff. Simple green. I didn't discover the secret. I'm gonna have to power wash it in the spring, I guess.
All 3 kittens in our yard this weekend.
I think they'd love a kitten. I think you just drug over and drop one off.
Reach out to Lucas and see if,
No.
you know, they're about to have a baby, you know, kittens probably not that.
They asked him if he wanted barn cats and he said no.
I got 3. I got 3 ready to
So,
go.
no, the answer was no. All right, good morning, Ms. Ives.
Good morning, sir.
Your client's right here. And he filled me
We were
in.
looking for him. We weren't sure where he was.
Oh, I dragged him in here. He was out in the hall and I asked the officer to bring him in. Sounds like he's doing pretty good. Let's address the matter of People versus Christopher James Houghton. Just a moment. Who is this?
Hey.
Good morning. This is Judge Middleton.
You could have a seat next to me.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm on the bench, and whoever called you, they didn't call you from this number. So, all right, good luck to you.
Bob.
Wrong number. This is file number 251099SM, People versus Christopher James Houghton. Mr. Houghton was charged with possession of a controlled substance for psilocybin mushrooms, which we see some. I was in college, some guy was growing them in his room in pickle jars. But they are a controlled substance under Schedule 5. It's a 2-year high court misdemeanor to possess them. Mr. Houghton pled guilty without counsel at his arraignment. And Mr. Stickley, the chief public defender, recommended that a counsel be appointed to assist with the sentence. It does appear to me that he would be eligible for 7411 probation unless I'm missing something. He has quite a bit of unpaid fines and costs here in St. Joe County. And he advised me he's already on probation in Cass County, and I didn't really want to double up. Ms. Ives, he indicated that he's been in contact with you via email, that he's present in a sober living house in Tawajak, and he's in family treatment court. Sounds like he's doing a lot better. What would you like me to know?
Well, Your Honor, what I was surprised to see is the representative from, it's a Cass County at Sober Living appeared here in court on his behalf, caught me in the hallway, wanted to kind of give me an update. She was just kind of briefing me when we were trying to find Mr. Houghton, and then realized he was in here when we walked in. But it sounds like he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. Now, I'm not sure what put him in.
Well,
living there.
one concern is, do you really want to be on 2 probations? If you do this probation, you would have a chance to have this charge taken off your record, use of a Schedule 5 controlled substance. But it might just put an awful lot of obligation on you. I could try to fashion the probation where you can do most of it over in CAS. But that's a question. You spent a day in jail. I have $200 of bond. And as she indicated, you're doing all the things that you should be doing. You've got a lot of unpaid tickets, and you got a domestic violence. You got some other things where you owe money here. That frankly, I was just gonna put as part of your probation that you pay all your existing fines and costs. Ms. Campfield, do you have any thoughts on this?
I do, Your Honor. Well, the first is, and I'm sure that he's already aware of it, but just to let Mr. Houghton know with his counsel present that this could have been charged as a felony. Possession of psilocybin or that type of a substance is actually a felony offense. So it's good that it was a misdemeanor here, that he's allowed to do 7411. It sounds like he's taking appropriate steps to live a sober life. My suggestion would be that we place him on the 7411 probation and request that CAS allow a transfer for supervision purposes only if he's doing all the things through their program that he ought to be doing for this one, such as testing when required and the sober living home, that perhaps it be fashioned if he leaves that home AWOL without completing the program or test positive, that would be a violation here as well.
I think what I'll do is make
Along
it a
those
condition
lines.
of his probation that he comply. I'm gonna waive his probation oversight fees here. And make it a condition of a probation that he comply with the probation. Which court are you through? Circuit court? Or is it abuse? Is it a probate court matter?
The family treatment court was a voluntary thing that I volunteered for.
But do you have a conviction of something?
I don't have a conviction over there.
All right, so you're not on probation, you're just in the program.
I'm in the program, yeah.
Is that correct, Mandy?
That is correct. I think you go in front, which judge do you go in front of, Cass, is it Herman?
I believe that's who it was.
Charles Herman or
Yeah.
Carol Beeler?
Carol Bueller is who I'm seeing,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
Carol Bueller.
And he is subject to drug testing at least 3 times a week and also, random.
And it's all voluntary.
Yes, I volunteered for this.
Good for you. All right, this seems appropriate. I'm gonna do a 7411 probation for 1 year. 12 months, meaning you can get done in 6 months. I'm gonna order 11 days in jail credit. 1 of the 11 days, 10 are deferred. You did 1 day. I'm gonna hold some days over your head. You had a small amount of psilocybin mushrooms, but you're also driving a vehicle at the time, which is always scary to think that people will be operating a vehicle after using hallucinogenics. The fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee. I'm gonna waive the oversight fee because I'm gonna have you to comply with all Cass County Family Treatment Court directives. What are you struggling with? It's not psilocybin mushrooms. Is it methamphetamine or alcohol or?
It was methamphetamine, yes.
All right.
I have a son that is in, his mom doesn't have custody of him either. And when I was given the chance to step up as a father, they asked me if I wanted to do family treatment court. So that's why I volunteered for it.
At some point, do you get to get out and get a job?
Up to their recommendation, yes. Hopefully soon. But
All right, well, you're already ahead of the game. As I said, you owe me a bunch of unpaid stuff. And often guys that are struggling with math, it's not on their radar to pay their fines and costs. So it's a condition of your probation that you pay outstanding St. Joe County fines and costs.
Your Honor, may I ask the court to request a release from the Family Court Treatment Program service providers so that we can ensure
Yes,
that
that's
7411 is complied with?
provide release
Thank you.
to our court. All right, Mr. Holden, you're on the right path. We've seen a lot of people lately on the wrong path. But this ultimately, your goal would be to get custody of your son?
Yes.
All right, that's a worthwhile goal. All right, Ms. Ives, thank you. You came, you got appointed late to the game in this case, but your client seems to be doing what he needs to do. Mr. Houghton, I'm going to ask you to take this form downstairs to the probation department. We'll try to coordinate with Cass County's Family Treatment Court. Mandy, are you connected to that?
I am. I'm not specifically in treatment court, but I do work for social insurance and drug court over there as well as here.
All right, that's helpful.
Which I can help you updates from Preston, what needed to. So.
Well, you could be a good resource. All right, Mr. Houghton, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for our next matters. What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Darren Yoder.
All right, let's take up Mr. Yoder's case. Why don't you have a seat right with your lawyer there, Mr.
Yes,
Yoder?
ma'am.
I did arraignments for Judge Pattison this morning. He had one. Then we had a walk-in. We had another one that I missed because I didn't know I had him.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I
No,
don't
that's-
have
no,
eardrums,
it's
so I
not.
can't hear very.
Oh,
very
yeah, you
well.
told me that. Let's try the system here. Those little, Michelle's an expert at these.
Does it have an earpiece with it?
Yeah, there's some headphones there.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
There's the volume adjustment.
Better?
Mr. Yoder, does that help?
Yeah, that works.
All right, very good. All right, when they upgraded our system, they gave us these, and we do sometimes tend to overlook them, but they can be very helpful. This is file number 251128, People versus Darren Randall Yoder. Mr. Yoder is here with his lawyer, Jordan Hardin, and Daniel Frazine is here. He drew this assignment. Also present is Angelique Canfield. Mr. Yoder's got quite a lot of baggage here on his record, and this is,
The load of baggage, Your Honor,
yes, sir.
is all on my brother. He used my name. If you look up his name, you'll see that mine is AKA Darren Randall Yoder. So I have not committed any crimes. I'm not that kind of a person, Your Honor.
All right, well. All right.
I was literally, I mean, I'm not discounting the fact that I did have alcohol in my system.
But the person that went to prison back in the past was not you?
No, that was my brother.
He went to prison using your name?
Correct.
Stranger things have happened. Your driver's license.
I haven't had my driver's license since I was 18.
Well, you have an ID and your picture is on it. So
he's probably got some kind of a copy of it, maybe.
Well, it certainly looks like you in the picture.
But he looks almost identical to me. If this is not even an excuse, he looks almost identical to me. He knows my social security number because he stole my social security card.
So he went to prison?
Yeah. His name is Timothy William Lewis Yoder.
Well, these are done by fingerprints.
I have not been arrested for anything.
All right. Well, you were arrested for this.
Oh, obviously for this, yes. I mean, we wouldn't be here otherwise.
No.
I tried everything. Coffee.
No, look up Timothy William Lewis Yoder, and you'll see that Darren Randall Yoder is his first AKA, and then you'll see that Timothy Brian Grandstaff is his second AKA. No, sir, I do not do anything to get in trouble. I made the wrong decision to move the car.
Okay, all right, don't tell me.
Oh, my apologies, my apologies, my apologies.
Well, he raised this when he spoke with you.
What was that?
Well, when you talked to the probation officer, you told him this.
Yes.
He must be awfully identical to you because the driving permit, the guy looks like you.
Yes, my brother looks almost exactly like me.
All right, we'll have to sort this out by fingerprints. The recommendation, Mr. Yoder, is for 45 days in jail. You're the drunkest defendant I've had in 2025. You have the highest blood alcohol level of anybody I've seen this year, and it's almost October. You're very, very intoxicated. You have very little insight into the level of addiction that you're struggling with. And part of his reason for the recommendation was your extensive criminal history. But your contention is that it isn't you.
No, that's not me, though. I know that I made the wrong decision to maneuver a vehicle, number one, without having a license, even though that's put to the side. But intoxicated, understandably so. But it's not like I was trying to go from here to Ohio. I was literally moving the vehicle 2 parking spaces over. I admittedly
All right,
say,
stop.
my apologies,
All right. I don't know that he ever got printed here. It's one of my pet peeves with the sheriff's department is they often don't print people that they get in the jail. They have a different view of this. I don't work in there, but they don't print the people. Sometimes when they release them, we don't even know who they are. I can't tell. There is a fingerprint order in here. Directed. And so I believe the prints were taken here at the courthouse. Says you have a scar on your abdomen and a tattoo on your left arm.
Correct.
And your left forearm.
Correct.
All right, that's you?
Yes. I've got a scar right here from having rotator cuff surgery.
All right.
My abdomen, I was cut in half when I was a baby. I was one of the first in Michigan to have pyloric stenosis surgery.
All right. Ms. Canfield, do you have a thought on this?
Your Honor,
I'm asking the prosecutor.
it's very unusual when I'm looking at the Michigan Department of Corrections Otis site for Timothy Williams Lewis Yoder. It does have approximately 6 or 7 aliases, one of them being his brother's name. And it appears that this individual that served a sentence for methamphetamine has similar features to Mr. Yoder, but he has a little bit more hair than his brother because he's about 3 years younger. But it does appear that there's a multitude of tattoos listed here. Now, the interesting thing is when I searched the defendant's name and age, there wasn't a record that came up. And I searched for all status as opposed to active status. So I would think that if some of these felonies were on his record, I would have at least seen something. But one would think if they're charged with criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, that there would either be a record of it under Timothy's name, which there is not, or I would have an old Otis, but I don't know how long they keep those records in Otis. So that's the problem.
Well, they do DNA for those.
Correct. They would show the same male, the YSTR DNA from the same family line, but they would have different and unique, they should have different DNA because they're not identical twins. So.
Well, all right,
but one would think it would have been addressed over the multiple years and years and years that his brother was catching felonies purportedly under his name.
Well, let's talk about let's talk about the criminal record. Most of it is not very relevant to this. It's old.
And we're sure this is shocking for many of you that are just hearing the news and tuning in.
And it's very old. There's no driving intoxicated. There's some old driving suspendeds on here. But let's assume that none of these are him. There was a DWLS August 1st of 2025 that was dismissed, I think perhaps as a part of this plea agreement.
That's correct.
So let's set the criminal history aside. The court will not consider any of the criminal history in the report, A, because it's old, and B, because there's a question about whether it's him. So let's proceed just on the facts of the case. With that in mind, Ms. Harden, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court has indicated, this is Mr. Yoder's first drunk driving conviction and his first criminal charge in a couple of years. Mr. Frazine's recommendation indicated that he did not believe Mr. Yoder was a good candidate for probation. However, it's my understanding there's been no issue while on bond. He's gotten rides to court. He's appeared at court. He's been in communication with me. I think that he's someone that's worthy of affording the opportunity for probation too. Get him in some services. You know, him saying Mr. Frazine believes he doesn't have a problem. That might be the kind of person that probation could actually help if we get him engaged in some court services such as counseling, substance abuse treatment, things of that nature. He does have his fiance here who's a support system for him. I would ask the court to consider a probation and defer any requested jail time as this is his first conviction. Thank you.
Ms. Canfield, what's your thought?
Setting aside the history, as the court's indicated we will do for now, giving the defendant the benefit of the doubt that these may be his brother's convictions. He had an extremely high blood alcohol content. He indicated that he drove to pick up his girlfriend from work. So he did drive there. He was sipping on beer in the car as he waited for her to get out from work. And it wasn't just driving a couple spots down to change the parking location. He actually admitted that he drove there to pick her up. When you're at a 0.3 or above, you're a significant alcoholic. If you're functional at that level, as the court's well aware from handling sobriety court, it's a little frightening to think that he's on the road at that level. And as Mr. Frazine indicated, functional, most of us would be passed out or hospitalized from alcohol poisoning. So he's been drinking for a very long time, and he does have an alcohol abuse diagnosis, although I'm not a physician. That seems under the situation to be an appropriate thing. I would think that to have a substance abuse assessment done, we'd probably find some interesting facts in that regard, other than what he's just told Mr. Frazine. He's engaged in treatment before. Obviously, he still thinks that he can drink, which is not accurate. And he continues to violate the law in doing so. I see Mr. Frazine's point in getting a lot of different versions of events from the defendant throughout the course of his interview. If you don't recognize that you have an alcohol addiction, it's very difficult to rehabilitate from that. So it seems under those circumstances, the jail is appropriate. But I also see his counsel's point in that maybe he needs the services so that he can recognize he has an addiction and give him an opportunity to establish sobriety, not only from methamphetamine as he has in the past, but from alcohol now, because it seems one replaced the other. If there is a term of probation, I would think that 2 years would be adequate in consideration of the sobriety court program, but he has to be willing to engage. If not, perhaps regular probation is more appropriate if he can't handle the intensity of the sobriety court. But I do think some jail is more than appropriate given the alcohol level in his system at the time of driving.
I am in love. I woke up to a new friend. That just came out of my.
Mr. Yoder, your preliminary breath test at the scene was a .388.
Correct, sir.
And on beer, that is just astounding.
Well,
stop for a minute.
yes, sir.
And then they have to take you to the hospital if your blood alcohol is .32 or above.
Correct.
And so they took you to the hospital and they got a blood draw and the blood result came back at 351. Now, there may be some argument that you were drinking after you parked the vehicle, but you weren't legal to drive, A, because you didn't have a license, and B, because you had a blood alcohol about 5 times the legal limit. And you did drive there. You didn't drop out of outer space. You did drive it in the parking lot. And so here we are, and you've accepted responsibility. As Ms. Camfield said, your memory is not complete. And so you give slightly different versions of things, but nobody thinks that you're lying about anything. They just think that you have a hard time reporting accurately.
My memory has been shot for a long time,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, I'm gonna let you go last, but let's hear from Mr. Frazine.
Well, you know, when I was speaking to him, and it did tell me about his brother's situation, he did eventually admit to the juvenile crimes and failing to register. If that was his brother, as indeed he's trying to purport here today, then he wouldn't have admitted to failure to register. So I don't think it's purposeful. I just think with this kind of alcohol consumption, your brain becomes a little bit less good with the facts. And I think this is what's happening. So even if we didn't take everything here and we did attribute to some of his brothers, he at least admitted to this. So that's why I kind of took everything else with a grain of salt. Also, when he tells me that he tried a duels, but it was too damn expensive. It's like $8 a 6-pack. And now I just sip on beer all day because it's cheaper than water. I mean, that's a hard thing to overcome. And when I spoke to him about probation, I explained to it in detail how that works. And he was leaning with, well, I just kind of rather get this over with. No job. He somewhat does DoorDash. My feeling is he's probably doing that just enough to supply himself with the alcohol because he's got it so bad.
Well, obviously he can't do DoorDash because he can't drive.
Right. He says his girlfriend's doing so. And that's why I said to him, I said, so really your girlfriend's doing the DoorDashing.
Correct.
So
correct.
Again, so how is he going to pay for testing? How is he going to get anywhere? How is he going to do this stuff? My take was we'd just be setting him up for more failure down the road and exasperating the things. And my best hope with all this was that he'd do enough time where he'd say, well, this really stinks. I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, and some of these are these last few recent driving without a license cases, they're not your brother. They're the guy that lives at Whit Lake Road. There's a guy that looked me in the eye.
That would be all of these cases right now, I would believe.
No, they're you.
But normally I would think that a long 2-year probation would be appropriate, given the facts. If they had a license and they were able to do it and participate and even remotely thought they had a issue, but I just think we're setting them up for failure, but I'll leave it to the court's discretion.
I would be willing to participate.
All right. Mr. Yoder, I said I'd give you the last word. What do you want to tell me?
I made a mistake, Your Honor. I I was trying to maneuver the vehicle around to go next to our friend who was door dashing. Because there was a person that had parked in her spot that she normally parks in while we hang out. And my fiance is at work. I made the mistake of maneuvering the vehicle. I cannot deny it.
All right. You missed the picture. You drove the car there while you were like super drunk. I'm
I
not so
didn't
worried
drive
about
the car. No, sir. No, sir. She drove the car there.
All right, so your contention is
She works at Taco Bell. She backed it up into that parking spot. I just went to maneuver around the vehicle, pardon me, that was next to us. I did not drive that car there. No, sir.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, the only driving here is in the parking lot that they can establish.
Correct. And it was just to go around a vehicle to get next to another vehicle to have communication.
Well, you dented this other guy's car to the extent of.
Do what?
It said it damaged his car less than $1,000 worth of damage.
I didn't touch anybody's vehicle.
There wasn't a scratch on, I'm sorry, there wasn't a single scratch on my car.
What the report says, and I wasn't there.
Obviously.
It was dispatched to a crash. When I arrived, I spoke with a caller. He said he saw the driver, Darren Yoder, drinking alcohol in the parking lot before getting into a vehicle. Darren then hit the bumper of Noah's parked vehicle, leaving minor scratches. He said Darren seemed not all there. All right.
Your Honor, the scratches.
Now, I don't, whatever it was very apparently minor.
Yeah.
These cases are you. Darren Randall Yoder, 2022, disturbing the peace. Whit Lake Road address. That's not your brother, that's you.
At Whit Lake Road? At 2022? I wasn't even in the state of Michigan in 2022.
3.
Me and my dog were out walking on the East Coast in 2022 to up to 2024.
23 is operating with no license. That's you. And then that's it. There was a fail to pay a booking fee.
A booking fee probably.
Was the 23 one you?
No, again.
All right, I'm gonna adjourn this. I'm gonna figure out what's what. You're either a terrible reporter of the facts or a huge liar. The picture on your driving record is you. Unless your brother's identical to you.
He's almost identical, exactly.
Your fingerprints are on file. I've engaged with you before. I have video of me talking to you in the courtroom.
And I have no problem admitting any bit of the truth either.
All right, so the 23 one wasn't you and the 22 one wasn't you?
No, I was not even in the state of Michigan until 2024. Me and my dog, when me and my ex-wife split up.
Well, will your dog testify on your behalf?
I guarantee he will. He's in the car right now.
All right, well, that's good.
No, him and I, we walked around the entire East Coast for 2 years until it was Father's Day of 20. Shit. 20.
All right, just stop. I'm not even sure how to approach this.
I'm not a liar though, Your Honor.
Where is Timothy Yoder now?
I honestly don't know. I have no communication with him.
Well, did he live in the Whit Lake Road house?
He probably used the address, I would imagine, because he is partial owner.
A few days ago, we celebrated his 19th birthday. Oh my God, that's crazy. We wanted to prove to the world that fresh food has a meaningful impact on your dog's health. The Farmer's Dog funded a metabolomic study with Cornell University. The dogs that we used in the study, they were all over 12 years old. All of the benefits appeared within 4 weeks of feeding the food. And if this happened in dogs that are 12 years old and above, you could only imagine it would be the same or better for dogs that were younger. I often hear from people like, oh, I love what you guys are doing. I would love to do it, but my dog's old now. It's probably too late. And I didn't exactly have the data to back it up, but I've always believed that it's never too late. We all want more years. But if those years aren't good, then what are they? While our mission is about helping dog people do their best for their dogs, the impact that we intend on having is to fundamentally change the life expectancy of the entire species.
I gifted my husband these pants, and now he wears them everywhere. Meet Mesh Irons, the most flattering everyday pants for men over 65. With Air Max fabric technology, it delivers 10 times ventilation from waist to toe, elastic waistband, and 4-way stretch for a flexible fit. Deep pockets with zippers to secure all essentials. No scratches, no wrinkles, no fading, built to last with all types of work. Perfect for every occasion, from casual to active. Free return within 45 days. Comes in 7 colors and 4 inseams. Get yours now.
Him and I are both 12% or 12.5% owner of the property.
And you actually live there now?
Not currently. We just moved all my stuff from there, and I moved down to LaGrange with my fiance.
I don't even know how to do a forensic. When I was a young prosecutor, you weren't born yet, In order to prove someone was a habitual criminal, you had to prove they were the same person. So I tried a criminal sexual conduct charge against a man where the conduct occurred here in Centerville. And he allegedly and you had to prove the prior to the jurors. So first you finished the trial, and then you had to prove that it was the same guy that was a habitual offender. So I got his fingerprint records from Ohio and had someone who had been his probation officer, somebody in Ohio, had an FBI agent in the courtroom, took the defendant in the back, took his fingerprints, compared the fingerprints to the fingerprints in the Ohio record, and said he was the same guy. And the jurors convicted him of being a habitual offender also. That is like nearly impossible in this day and age. This was in the 80s. Well, that's what needs to happen, is somebody needs to look at the fingerprints and see whether it's the same person. And your old probation and parole agent, they would have knowledge of this. And I believe the person on the driving record is you, and I believe the guy I talked to in the courtroom in 2022 and 23 is you.
The only time that I've had any issue with any law enforcement was like 2018, something like that. Rick.
Well, how did your driver's license get suspended if you never?
Well, I was 18, honestly. I was 18. I was driving home from work.
I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole here. I'm gonna get the videos of our earlier proceedings. Which include two 209 SM. And 23988 ST. And 152761. If I can. Jordan, when are you here next? You know?
I think the 13th of October.
All right, let's see what we got there.
I have several set though. I think I got 4.
The only thing that I've actually been convicted of that I actually did, aside from this, was the felony conviction for selling my medicine. And that was trying to get my kids Halloween costumes.
Where was that?
That was in Sturgis.
All right.
I mean,
but you told Mr. Frazine you got convicted of failing to report under the Sex Offender Act.
I've been Romeo and Julieted out of that a long time ago.
But were you on the sex offender registration list for a number of years?
For 14 years I was, yes.
For something you didn't do?
Yes, I was 16. I had sex with my girlfriend who was 15, and her parents reported me as a rapist.
Well,
At this point,
that's what's in the report.
So, but I was.
Stop,
I
stop,
was
stop, stop,
absolved,
stop,
though.
stop, stop.
Yes,
You
sir.
are
Yes, sir.
sending me down the rabbit hole. I'm gonna confirm that these are you, and if I do, bring your toothbrush, because you're going to jail. But we'll revisit this on October 13th at 10:30 a.m. I will get the videos. You just acknowledged that this underlying sex offense was you.
Yes.
Which you previously denied. You acknowledged that the failure to register as a sex offender was you, which you previously denied, and then you denied everything else.
Correct.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. I'll see you on October 13th at 10:30. And I'll get the videos of those earlier proceedings.
October 13th at 10:30, is that?
Yes.
Can you go to the counter, get a
Yes.
notice while he's here? Go to the district court office, they can give you a notice.
If you take them out, we'll get notice for them. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm sorry, Tim. Kind of. All right, I'll see you in October. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are we up next?
Yes.
Oh.
I could not conceive that someone could go into the Department of Corrections. Mr. Richards, would you come up and and be on the Registration Act for years when it isn't the right person? The tattoos match. I bet the fingerprints match. And I don't know if he knows what the truth is. We had one other sentence in here that has been moved because one of the attorneys wasn't feeling well, so that leaves us with Joseph Tanner Richards.
Was that Mr. Miller, Your Honor?
Yes.
Or there's another
It's an interesting case. This is file number 25951SD. Mr. Richards is here with his lawyer, Mr. Timothy George. Also present is Kiefer from the probation department, screening report, and Angelique Canfield from the prosecutor's office. This defendant got 2 drinking drivings in real short consequence. And this matter was reduced to a charge of impaired driving. Mr. George, what would you like me to know?
Thank you. I know this is kind of the second time around with Mr. Richards. We were here, I believe it was the day after Labor Day. We addressed the first case, and I don't want to reiterate everything, but I think at the core of it is Mr. Richards understands how serious both of these situations were. And we've had this conversation where I think just the lifestyle that he was living at the time, maybe he didn't realize it, but it was obviously putting himself at risk, putting others at risk. And, specifically, the first case was a really scary situation. And then got the second one while he was on bond for the first one. So I know since he's been in here, the last time he obviously did the sentence in jail that the court imposed after that. And he reports that he did do the assessment at Pivotal. I was speaking with Ms. Kiefer about that. I don't know that a release was signed because that hasn't been transferred over to the probation department yet, but he does report that he also has another Pivotal appointment set for October 2nd. So I do believe, even though he is a young man, that how he came before the court has had him grow up a little bit here, and he understands that he needs to get a handle on this because it's something he's going to be dealing with, every day. And I think that the tools that the sobriety court can offer would be a benefit to him. The information that can be gleaned from others in sobriety court. I think those experiences are ones that he can benefit from as well. So, Your Honor, we would respectfully ask, even though we're still waiting at the court, that he be considered as a sobriety court. Thank you.
Should these auto-transforming glasses be made illegal in the US? All glasses
Ms. Kiefer, I'll hear from you first, and then we'll hear from Ms. Canfield. You spent a lot of time on this particular case, and we've discussed it. We are concerned about how young you are and whether you're ready and mature enough to do a sobriety court treatment program and ready to accept the fact that you can't drink. The other factor is this is your only way to get your driver's license for the next 5 years. Autumn, what's your thought here?
Well, we were here on the 2nd of September. Mr. Richards was sentenced in the other case. He did serve 3 days according to the jail roster. Worst we can do is fail. I have emailed Pivotal to see if I can get that assessment. If Mr. Richards failed to sign a release, if his appointment is on the 2nd, then he can sign that when he goes in. If he goes into sobriety court, I'll have it signed this afternoon and send that to them.
We have 2 other guys in the program right now who kind of fit your profile. They're young, single men with a party lifestyle and a couple of drunk driving arrests in short order. We have another guy who was 24 now, who graduated the program, and he has done an outstanding job. Do you want to do sobriety court?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Canfield, what's your thought?
Your Honor, I understand Ms. Kiefer's concerns about whether or not he'd be willing or able to complete the program, given the fact that he doesn't seem to, at least when she spoke with him, understand completely that it doesn't mean drinking less or just drinking at home. It means no drinking. And you have to be ready for that because you're developing or already have a dependency on alcohol. And that's the concern with young people, men and women, who think that it's okay because it's fun and they can be around it and they think that they can consume a smaller amount or just not drive, and that's simply not the case. Under the circumstances, because he's here and he is willing to do the program, I think that is a step in the correct direction. So with hesitancy, I'm going to agree with the recommendation for the sobriety court, see if we can get some services underway with some of the other people in the program. I think their support and experiences may be able to get through to him to a larger degree when you're dealing with others who have the same alcohol dependency and convictions. Perhaps that wisdom can be imparted to Mr. Richards and he can benefit from that. The problem with just doing a straight jail sentence, I see, which normally under circumstances with 2 so close together, I would recommend, is that it doesn't give him any opportunity to rehabilitate or have treatment, which he desperately needs. So I will agree with the recommendation and ask that the court impose it with sobriety court.
One of the concerns we had is that you were on bond on the other one when you did this one, so we didn't even slow you down a bit. So we're gonna try to slow you down. And Autumn says the worst we can do is fail. If we're successful, you'll be better, we'll be better, everybody will be better. If we aren't successful, we can put you in jail. Which we could do now. Your attitude is good. We've got a couple guys in there, as I said, who are kind of the same profile, and Miss Canfield kind of touched on that. Maybe you can benefit from being around other people in your circumstance who are trying to turn it around. We just had a guy graduate. He did an outstanding job, excellent job. His son, who's about your age, got arrested for drunk driving while dad was in sobriety court. And his son called the dad and said, "Come get me. I just ran on into a cornfield." And he said, "Son, I can't help you." Sure, that was very hard for him. Now the son's taking his lumps. The gentleman you just saw was 44 years old, and his blood alcohol was 0.388. You don't want to be that guy. Or you don't want to be the guy that we read about who died. We have 2 fatal accident cases set for felony tomorrow. So let's give it a try. I'm going to order 24-month probation. We just did some jail. I think she was going to defer all of this.
I wasn't originally, Your Honor, but now I will, since that they were sentenced separately. He's done 3 days.
Yes. I'm going to order 30 days jail, credit 1, leaving 29 days deferred. There's actually 93 hanging over your head, but we're going to do this expensive proposition. I'm going to waive the fine because I just gave you one in the other case. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. I'll make the screening fee $0 because she just did the other one. Attorney fee is $150 and the probation is $960. And they didn't. Was there a police reimbursement, Miss Canfield?
I did not see
We couldn't
one
find one
submitted.
either, but sometimes you guys have it and we didn't.
Let me just exit out of that screen. It doesn't look like one was requested at this point, Your Honor. It was a prompt.
All right. No drugs and no alcohol. Test as directed. Substance abuse counseling and treatment and sobriety court, and you're to sign a release. Our next session is next Tuesday, October 7th. You'll be there live in person. Where are you working right now?
Northrop Construction.
Oh, yes, we got several guys that are working construction. And it's problematic in that you might be at a job site out in Decatur somewhere, putting a roof on a house, and you got to go to sobriety court. Well, a lot of those guys have been zooming in from their car. But there's places to be. You got to do your testing at the day reporting center. You got to do your treatment. You got to go to support group, AA or Celebrate or other program. You got to meet with me every 2 weeks. Eventually, we may be able to get you an interlock so you can drive your car. Do you have a car?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Cadillac.
All right. Pink Cadillac?
No, it's red.
Coffee colored Cadillac. All right. your attitude, I can't ask for anything better, but I want you to go downstairs with Autumn. We'll get you plugged in. There's a lot to do and it's overwhelming at the start. What the guys often say is stick it out and you'll get it. You'll start to get it and it gets easier. All right. I didn't order any additional jail, which is somewhat unusual in this kind of circumstance. All right, you go downstairs with the probation officer and she'll get you in there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Angelique, it's very helpful to have you as our sobriety.
Too quiet.
Advised witness Barnick punching and kicking the female
No,
while she was on. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm just telling
Okay.
you what the police report says. This is someone that you and I both know. This matter has been sent for sentencing today. It's People versus Gerald E. Barnick. File number is 241141 SM. Charges domestic violence. Mr. Barnick pled to that charge. I set the matter for sentencing today. Hoping to get some more input. I did get the police report and the other investigation report. I looked at some old files. I'd hoped to get some input from Carla Barnick, who's Mr. Barnick's niece, and from the prosecutor, but don't think we're going to have any prosecutor input. And I haven't heard anything from Ms. Barnick. So this is the time and date for sentence in this matter. Click into it. Defendant is here in a timely manner with his lawyer, Paul Gibson. Mr. Gibson, what would you like me to know?
The defendant is retired on Social Security, but he does work part-time at the golf course. And it sounds like that's his intentions going forward is that he will have a part-time job in conjunction with his Social Security income. The defendant is remorseful about this situation. He going forward, he's not quite sure. If the no contact provision is lifted, he's not quite sure what the relationship between he and his niece would be. It sounds like that, they did reside together for quite some time. And so he does say that is something that he possibly would be open to in the future. So I believe that the defendant has the ability to get past this. And I don't believe that he is a dangerous person or a danger to society. And so I'm asking for the court to sentence him accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barnick, what would you like me to know?
My niece and I have been living together. Now it's been almost 20 years, believe it or not. And there's been some rough time through there as far as that goes. She's in a rough spot. She doesn't have a car. She doesn't have a driver's license. No job, no income, basically nothing. So I'm trying to, through the years, matter of fact, I had a conversation with her the other day and she's out at least trying to find another job now. She's got some back problems, on medication and so forth. So Mr. Gibson asked me about what the future might look with us in it, together, possibility, whatever, to continue living together. My comment to him was, already being together for 20 years, that's a lot to throw away, even though there was some tough times there, but there was a lot of good times also.
I thought it was even more than that. Back in 2012, when you ran over with your car, you'd been together about 12 years then. So that would be more like 25 years. Who's staying at the North Main address?
She is right now.
All right, and where are you staying? You told me.
Well, I'm kind of in between there, 'cause the best with my other niece and her husband. I don't know if you know Nancy and Jim Palmer.
Palmer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She
I
used
know
to be
that.
Nancy Evans.
Yeah, I know her real well.
Okay. That's with them when they've got, because they've got their grandkids and stuff, and that's a household in itself over there. So it's kind of back and forth, I guess you might want to say.
Well, you're not supposed to have any contact with her at all, so it sounds like there is contact. This, and I've said this to you, this feels like deja vu all over again. You can't live with her and you can't live without her. And I've said the same thing to her. She's been charged at least 3 times with domestic violence. At least 2 of them were on you. You've been charged with assaulting her. One was a felony, got bound over to circuit court and got remanded. It started with Judge Welty and it came to me. There's an unstated factor in here, which is alcohol. Every one of you guys drink too much, just flat out. You drink and you fight. And this whole weird dynamic that she's your niece, although I realize she was adopted, but it's still a strange dynamic. And I read this and it was like I'm reading the same report that I read in 2012. But there are some troubling things in here. And I sent you to anger management back in 2012, which you successfully completed.
I would be willing to take that again if that's.
Well, that's not an option. Perhaps there may be some other option. I'd really hope to hear from her. Now, you worked at, you've been around long enough, you worked at Continental Can.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
dad worked there.
Yeah,
Do you
that
have a
was right out of
Continental
high
Can
school, yeah.
pension?
Pardon?
Do you have a Continental Can pension?
No.
Do you have American Axle pension?
No, I was there for about 6 or 7 years at
So you
Axel.
weren't long enough to get a pension
Yeah.
there. And you worked at Comcast or
Yeah.
somewhere?
I was there for almost 10 years. That was after I left Continental Can before it.
So you don't have any other pension other than
No.
this? Oh, that's
No.
too bad.
I'm in the process right now of finding something more than the hours that I'm getting paid for at the golf course also, as far as that
Which
goes.
golf course?
It's pretty tough,
Which golf course?
Pineview.
Okay. This is all sketchy. And it's like reading the same report over again that I've read several times before. But you're fighting out in the yard on North Main Street. And someone you know, I won't say his last name, Norm, drives by and sees this. He doesn't even know what the heck is going on. And he called and said, there's a man beating a female outside in the yard next to Lutter's Cleaners. So they get there. Well, he says, there was a lady laying in the yard under a lawn chair. And he said, didn't know she was like sunbathing or what happened. So he turned around. She had a bloody nose when the police got there. And she had been drinking.
Your Honor, the lawn chair was what I did. She had previously thrown food at me, throwing a couple drinks at me while I was sitting outside. And what I did to deal with the lawn chair, that's what I did. I took the lawn chair when she was setting it, and I turned it over and put her down on the ground. That's what I did. And
all right, he advised, this is Norm. He advised witness Barnick punching and kicking the female while she was on. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm just telling you what the police report says. Someone that you and I both know. He witnessed Barnick punching and kicking the female while she was on the ground. He advised the female was trying to get up off the ground and Barnick punched her again. Barnick had some sort of tile or something in his hand. It should be noted I was unable to locate any sort of tile and his hands are in the area. This is like just business as usual, drinking and fighting. Well, this is right out on Main Street where people driving by see it and call the police. She was given a domestic abuse pamphlet. She seemed undecided as whether she wanted to contact domestic abuse. Back in 2012, the police report says I gave her a domestic abuse pamphlet after you got a fight and you knocked her to the ground and you ran over with your car and broke her ankle and ended up pleading on a reckless driving. I did send you to the anger management class with Matt Pellerito, which you successfully completed. It started out as a felony, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, assault with a dangerous weapon. It was bound over to circuit court, and then it got remanded the way cases used to in the old days when Mr. McDonough was the prosecutor at that time and reduced to a misdemeanor. And there were several times where she was charged with assaulting you. 25 years of that. The bond conditions are you're not to use any alcohol. You're not to have any contact whatsoever with Carla Barnick. Now, at least the conviction, so I get the impression you're actually staying there sometimes and at least talking to her. No weapons, no assaultive behavior. Pretrial supervision from community corrections. Do you have any other pretrial supervision? I don't know what happened there. So I think he's just been living there. You're right. And this has always been the story. I think years ago she worked at Walmart, but she probably hasn't worked in a long time, 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And so you're her source of a house and source of income.
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed about all this?
Somewhat, yes.
Never do these 3 things after a car accident if you want a 6 or 7 figure check.
I'm embarrassed just reading it. And I don't have any input from her. Let me make sure I didn't miss something. And I think she didn't even that, which is consistent with the way it was every time. She's like, well, who called the police? And he said, well, don't worry about that. Somebody did. I think actually more than one person called the police. Now your kids are all grown. I remember when they were playing sports, they're all grown up and you got grandkids and your grandkids are probably playing sports. They're probably grown up. Now there's a condition of no alcohol. How have you been doing with that one?
Slowing right down. I took your advice the last time I was in here, the comment that you made and so forth, and it's just, beer once in a while, that's it.
All right. I also have to be careful that what I do doesn't make her homeless. You took my bond conditions more as a suggestion than a court order. You've been having contact with her in violation of the bond. You've been drinking in violation of the bond. A beer now and then isn't a beer now and then. But you were supposed to have one beer. So one option would just give you about 93 days in jail. That might give you a real wake-up call. The neighbor says you're punching her in the face in the front yard on North Main Street. And she's not particularly cooperative. If I put you in jail for 93 days, she's gonna be homeless. You're gonna lose your residence. But you aren't taking this very seriously. And this is 25 years of this. reading your old report, her old report. And I don't know that 93 days in jail would solve anything. But it might get your attention because I don't have it very well. You're not taking my bond conditions seriously. And somehow this is all not your fault. She threw some beers on you. You punched her and gave her a bloody nose. And according to the witness, kicked her and while she was on the ground. So that's we're gonna try not anger management. We're gonna try the domestic assault class. Alcohol testing and drug testing. You're not gonna drink at all. You're not gonna have a beer once in a while or slow down. You can have no alcohol. You got a long time of alcohol abuse, which results in mutual fighting. I don't have jurisdiction over her. I'd order a no alcohol condition for her as well. Put you on probation for 12 months. No assaultive or threatening behavior, no drugs, and no alcohol. I'm about to lift the no contact provision. My fear is if something did happen, she wouldn't report it because she's afraid she wouldn't have anywhere to go. I'm gonna order 7 days jail, credit 1, leaving 6 days to serve. You can do that on weekends. This deserves some jail. 93 days not may be the answer, but you need to buy a clue on the clue bus and get on it. And I wish I had jurisdiction over her because, as you know, she's been struggling with alcohol during your whole relationship. The fine is $0. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, $480 probation oversight fee. You to pay for the class. You don't need anger management again. We'll try the whole domestic violence treatment class. And you need no alcohol starting now. And if you test positive for alcohol, you're going to go to jail. And I want no further assaultive or threatening behavior. And, you know, it's easy to say this. You can't live with her and you can't live without her. But you guys are caught in this toxic cycle of anger and
Stop imagining.
assault. It's not healthy for either one of you. But right now, she don't have anybody other than you. Now, you can do this probation in 12 months. You can also do it in half of that time, 6 months, which would save you quite a bit of money, at least $240. The fine is $0 because there's this other stuff. $125, I have to order. $150 is the partial cost of your attorney fee. $480 is the probation oversight fee, and you're going to pay for the domestic violence class. You posted a $2,000 10% bond. The court keeps 10% of the 10% bond. So subtract 180, 575. And if you do it in 6 months, take 240 after that, you would owe 335 plus the cost of the class. I had hoped to hear from the prosecutor. I had really hoped to hear from Carla. And I don't know where she is. I think she's probably on your side. The no contact provision is lifted. You can go back to your house.
Would you like me to have her get a hold of you? As far as
Well-
phone goes or not?
No,
Okay.
this was the time. Probation department at some point might be in contact with her. But as I said, I don't have jurisdiction over her, so I can't order her to do anything. It's gonna be hard for you to be there and not use drugs or alcohol when she's still using.
I'll just have to deal with it.
You will, and you guys are,
I will.
you're connected to each other for better or worse. Maybe years ago, things should have taken a different direction, but they didn't. And here we are. All right, I'm gonna ask you to take this case downstairs to the probation department. And I think you're actually eligible for a deferral. Because the case I sent you for anger management was a reckless driving, not a domestic violence. I put will consider deferral at the end of probation. Mr. Pellerito, who did the anger management class that you took years ago, had good things to say about how you did. This is a bigger class, more intensive. All right, go down to probation, and when they're done with it, you're free to go about your business.
Well, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody that comes on and watches. I've watched, and the people who rewatch, I really appreciate you guys. That's it for today. I will catch you on the next one. Ta-ta and ciao, and I will see you again tomorrow.
You know how to man all my scattered seams. With your steady hands, you refill my heart. Every piece that's lost gets a brand new start. You fix it all, fix it all. You fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's bright when I'm falling apart. You put me back together. Daniel, you make it better. Fix it, Daniel. Fix it, Daniel. Fix it, Daniel. Make it right when the world shuts down, and I can't see clear. You're my solid ground, always drawing near. Never give up on this heart of mine. Put it back together every single time. Tall to all you do. From the highest peak, I can see it through. With your care and touch, everything's okay.